Brad Pitt was being handcuffed by LAPD Detective Sarah Martinez, badge CP4751, in the parking lot of Beverly Hills Family Court at 4:23 p.m. on a sunny Tuesday afternoon, accused of violating the Child Abduction Prevention Act by kidnapping his own children during what was supposed to be a routine, supervised custody visit. The 60-year-old Academy Award-winning actor found himself facing charges under the federal Kidnapping Prevention Act while his three youngest children watched in terror from the back of his Range Rover as family court officers treated their father like a dangerous criminal who had violated a sacred custody agreement. Detective Martinez was convinced that Hollywood's most famous father had finally snapped under the pressure of his highly publicized divorce proceedings and custody battle, choosing to steal his own children rather than accept the court's visitation limitations. But what Detective Martinez and the family court system didn't know was that Brad Pitt hadn't kidnapped his children. He was desperately trying to protect them from a professional assassination team that had been hired to kill his entire family, and his violation of the custody order was actually a split-second decision that saved three innocent lives from a coordinated murder plot targeting celebrity families across Los Angeles. The crisis had begun that morning when Brad Pitt arrived at the Beverly Hills Family Court building for his scheduled 2 p.m. supervised visitation with Shiloh, Knox, and Vivian, the three youngest children from his marriage to Angelina Jolie. The custody arrangement, established during their contentious divorce proceedings, required all visits to be supervised by court-appointed family counselor Dr. Rachel Chen and conducted within the secure family visitation center to ensure compliance with the domestic relations court orders that had been issued following their separation. Brad had been following the court-mandated custody schedule religiously for 8 months, understanding that any violation could result in complete loss of visitation rights under California Family Code provisions governing high-conflict custody cases. The supervised visits were emotionally difficult but represented his only opportunity to maintain relationships with his children during the ongoing legal proceedings that had dominated tabloid headlines for over 2 years. But as Brad waited in the family court lobby for Dr. Chen to escort him to the visitation room, he noticed something that immediately triggered the security awareness he had developed during years of dealing with paparazzi, stalkers, and overzealous fans. 2 men in dark suits were positioned near the building's exits, speaking quietly into communication devices while maintaining visual contact with the family court entrance. Their positioning and behavior reminded him of the professional security details he had worked with during film productions in dangerous locations. Before we continue with this incredible story of a father's desperate fight to protect his children, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our latest stories where the truth is more shocking than any Hollywood script. Your support helps us bring you these amazing real-life stories that mainstream media won't cover. Now back to Brad's life-or-death situation. The men's behavior became increasingly concerning as Brad observed them coordinating their movements and checking their watches in ways that suggested they were waiting for a specific time or event. More troubling, he recognized one of the men from photographs that his private security firm had provided him during a briefing about individuals who had been making threats against high-profile celebrities and their families in recent months. Marcus Webb, Brad's head of security and former Secret Service agent, had warned him just 3 weeks earlier about an escalation in threats against A-list celebrities and their children. "Mr. Pitt, we're seeing a concerning pattern of organized targeting," Webb had told him during a security briefing at his Malibu home. "These aren't random stalkers or paparazzi. We're tracking what appears to be a coordinated effort to harm celebrity families, possibly for ransom or to send some kind of message to the entertainment industry." The intelligence that Webb's firm had gathered suggested that an international crime syndicate was targeting wealthy celebrities and their families, using sophisticated surveillance and coordination to identify vulnerabilities in their security arrangements. The criminals had apparently realized that custody disputes and court-mandated visitations created predictable patterns that could be exploited to access celebrity children who were normally protected by extensive security measures. As Brad continued monitoring the suspicious individuals in the court lobby, Dr. Chen arrived to begin the supervised visitation session. "Mr. Pitt, your children are waiting in visitation room 3, she announced, unaware of the potential security threat that Brad had identified. The visitation rooms were designed to provide safe, neutral environments for family interactions, but they also created confined spaces where protective actions would be limited if a security threat materialized. Brad made a split-second decision that would save his children's lives, but destroy his reputation as a law-abiding father. Instead of proceeding to the supervised visitation room where his children would be vulnerable to the potential threat he had identified, he asked Dr. Chen to bring Shiloh, Knox, and Vivian to the lobby, claiming he had forgotten important gifts in his vehicle that he wanted to share with them during their visit. "Daddy!" 13-year-old Shiloh called out as she ran toward him, followed by her younger siblings who were excited to see their father despite the awkward circumstances of their court-supervised visits. But instead of the warm reunion they expected, Brad quickly guided them toward the building's exit, his voice urgent as he explained they needed to leave immediately for their safety. "Kids, we need to go to the car right now," Brad told them, his tone serious enough to convey urgency without causing panic. "There are some dangerous people here, and I need to get you somewhere safe." His children, who had grown up understanding the unique security challenges of their family's high-profile lifestyle, recognized the seriousness in their father's voice and cooperated without argument. Dr. Chen immediately realized that Brad was violating the custody order by removing the children from the supervised visitation facility without authorization. "Mr. Pitt, you cannot leave this building with the children," she called out as she followed them toward the exit. "This violates your custody agreement and the court's specific orders. I'm required to notify the authorities immediately if you proceed." But Brad's priority was protecting his children from what he believed was an imminent threat to their safety, not complying with family court procedures that assumed the greatest danger came from parents rather than external criminals. As they reached his Range Rover in the parking lot, he helped his children into the vehicle while scanning the area for signs of the suspicious individuals he had identified inside the courthouse. Dr. Chen, following her mandatory reporting obligations under California Family Code requirements for supervised visitation violations, immediately contacted court security and the Los Angeles Police Department to report that Brad Pitt had removed his children from the family court facility in violation of his custody order. Her report triggered an immediate response under the Child Abduction Prevention Act, with Amber Alert protocols being considered due to the high-profile nature of the case. Detective Sarah Martinez was conducting routine patrol duties when she received the emergency dispatch about a potential child abduction involving a major celebrity. "Unit 47, we have a Code 3 family abduction in progress at Beverly Hills Family Court," the dispatcher announced. "Suspect is Brad Pitt, Hollywood actor, accused of violating custody order and removing 3 minor children from supervised visitation. Children may be in immediate danger." Detective Martinez, who had 15 years of experience investigating family court violations and child custody cases, understood that violations of supervised visitation orders often indicated escalating domestic violence situations where children's safety was genuinely at risk. Celebrity status didn't exempt anyone from the patterns of behavior that could endanger children, and high-profile cases often involved additional complications related to media attention and public pressure. As Brad drove through Beverly Hills with his children, he was using his hands-free phone system to contact Marcus Webb and coordinate emergency security measures to protect his family. "Marcus, we have an immediate threat situation," he reported while navigating traffic. "I've removed the children from the family court due to suspicious individuals who match the profiles you warned me about. I need secure transportation and safe house arrangements immediately." But from law enforcement's perspective, Brad's phone calls appeared to be coordination with accomplices to facilitate a planned child abduction rather than legitimate security measures to protect his family from external threats. Detective Martinez received updates indicating that the suspect was making calls to unknown individuals while in possession of the children, behavior consistent with organized child abduction scenarios that required immediate intervention. The police pursuit began when Detective Martinez spotted Brad's distinctive Range Rover traveling northbound on Rodeo Drive, approximately 6 blocks from the family court building. Following standard protocols for child abduction cases, she activated her emergency lights and attempted to conduct a traffic stop, expecting Brad to cooperate with law enforcement efforts to ensure his children's safety. Brad's reaction to seeing police lights in his rearview mirror created a dilemma that every parent would understand, but few would face. Stopping the vehicle would expose his children to potential danger from the assassins he believed were tracking them, but continuing to drive would escalate the law enforcement response and potentially endanger his children in different ways. He chose to continue driving while trying to reach a secure location where his security team could take control of the situation. "Daddy, why are the police following us?" Knox asked from the back seat, his voice carrying the confusion and fear that any child would experience in such circumstances. Brad tried to reassure his children while making tactical decisions about how to protect them from threats that law enforcement didn't understand. "We're going somewhere safe," he told them. "Everything is going to be okay, but I need you to stay calm and trust me." The situation escalated when additional police units joined the pursuit, treating the case as a high-priority child abduction with potential for violence. Detective Martinez coordinated with multiple units to safely stop the vehicle and recover the children, following protocols designed to minimize trauma while ensuring their immediate safety from what appeared to be a dangerous parental abduction scenario. Brad's security team, led by Marcus Webb, had been monitoring police communications and realized that law enforcement was treating their client as a criminal rather than recognizing the legitimate security threat he was trying to address. Webb immediately contacted LAPD headquarters to explain the situation and provide intelligence about the potential assassination plot targeting Brad's family. "Detective Martinez, this is Marcus Webb with Pitt Family Security," he radioed through official police channels. "Mr. Pitt is not abducting his children. We have credible intelligence about threats against his family, and he removed the children from the courthouse to protect them from potential assassins. We can provide documentation of these threats and coordinate with your department to ensure everyone's safety." But Detective Martinez was operating under established protocols that required treating family court violations as potential domestic violence situations until proven otherwise. Celebrity security claims could be elaborate cover stories for actual criminal behavior, and her primary responsibility was ensuring the immediate safety of 3 children who appeared to be in the custody of someone violating court orders. The pursuit ended when Brad voluntarily stopped his vehicle in the parking lot of the Beverly Hills Police Department, calculating that the presence of law enforcement would provide protection from external threats while allowing him to explain the security situation to authorities who could verify his concerns. As he stepped out of the Range Rover with his hands visible, Detective Martinez approached with her weapon drawn, following standard procedures for high-risk arrests. "Sir, step away from the vehicle and place your hands behind your back," Detective Martinez commanded while other officers secured the children and ensured their immediate safety. Brad cooperated fully while trying to explain the circumstances that had led to his violation of the custody order. "Detective, my children were in danger from individuals planning to harm them. I had to get them away from the courthouse to protect their lives." But Detective Martinez was operating under established protocols that required treating family court violations as potential domestic violence situations until proven otherwise. Celebrity security claims could be elaborate cover stories for actual criminal behavior, and her primary responsibility was ensuring the immediate safety of 3 children who appeared to be in the custody of someone violating court orders. The radio communication from Webb prompted Detective Martinez to contact her supervisor, Sergeant Michael Torres, badge DS-2847, who had extensive experience with high-profile celebrity cases and understood the complex security challenges that surrounded Hollywood families. "Sergeant Torres, we have a situation involving Brad Pitt and his children," Martinez reported while maintaining visual contact with the Range Rover. His security team claims this is a protective action against assassination threats, but we're dealing with a clear custody violation and potential child endangerment. Sergeant Torres, who had worked celebrity protection details during his earlier career with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, understood that legitimate security threats against high-profile families were more common than the public realized. "Martinez, I want you to proceed with standard arrest protocols, but I'm also going to have our intelligence division review any threat assessments that the Pitt security team can provide. We need to ensure we're not missing a genuine security situation while we're focused on the custody violation." As the pursuit continued through the affluent neighborhoods of Beverly Hills, Webb was coordinating with federal authorities who had been tracking international crime syndicates targeting American celebrities. FBI Special Agent Rebecca Walsh, who specialized in threats against public figures, was reviewing the intelligence that Webb's team had been gathering for weeks about organized criminal activities aimed at entertainment industry families. "Webb, the intelligence you've provided matches patterns we've been tracking through our behavioral analysis unit," Agent Walsh confirmed during an encrypted communication. "We have similar threat assessments indicating coordinated targeting of celebrity families, particularly those involved in high-profile custody disputes where movement patterns are predictable. Mr. Pitt's actions today may have disrupted a planned operation that we've been trying to identify and prevent." The federal intelligence added a new dimension to what local law enforcement had initially treated as a straightforward family court violation. Agent Walsh explained that international crime syndicates had been studying American celebrity families, looking for opportunities to execute kidnapping and ransom operations that could generate millions in profits while exploiting the media attention that surrounded high-profile victims. Back in the Range Rover, Brad was trying to maintain calm while explaining the situation to his children, who were becoming increasingly frightened by the police sirens and the helicopter news coverage that was broadcasting their ordeal live across Los Angeles. "Kids, I know this is scary, but everything is going to be okay," he told them while monitoring police communications through his vehicle's emergency radio system. 13-year-old Shiloh, who had inherited her father's ability to stay composed under pressure, was helping to comfort her younger siblings while trying to understand why their routine custody visit had turned into such a dramatic situation. "Daddy, are we going to jail?" Knox asked with the innocent confusion that any 6-year-old would experience when seeing their father pursued by multiple police vehicles. "No, son, we're not going to jail," Brad assured him while making the difficult decision to drive directly to the Beverly Hills Police Department, where he could surrender safely while ensuring his children's protection. "We're going to explain everything to the police, and they're going to understand that I was just trying to keep you safe. Sometimes grown-ups have to make hard choices to protect the people they love." The pursuit ended when Brad voluntarily stopped his vehicle in the parking lot of the Beverly Hills Police Department, calculating that the presence of law enforcement would provide protection from external threats while allowing him to explain the security situation to authorities who could verify his concerns. As he stepped out of the Range Rover with his hands visible, Detective Martinez approached with her weapon drawn, following standard procedures for high-risk arrests. "Sir, step away from the vehicle and place your hands behind your back," Detective Martinez commanded, while other officers secured the children and ensured their immediate safety. Brad cooperated fully while trying to explain the circumstances that had led to his violation of the custody order. "Detective, my children were in danger from individuals planning to harm them. I had to get them away from the courthouse to protect their lives." As Brad was being processed for violation of the Child Abduction Prevention Act, Marcus Webb arrived at the police station with comprehensive documentation of the security threats that had prompted the emergency protective action. The evidence included photographs of the suspicious individuals at the courthouse, intelligence reports about organized threats against celebrity families, and communication intercepts that confirmed Brad's children had been specifically targeted for harm. Within 3 hours of Brad's arrest, LAPD investigators had verified the authenticity of the security intelligence and confirmed that 2 individuals matching the descriptions Brad had provided were indeed connected to an international crime syndicate specializing in celebrity targeting and ransom operations. The men had been conducting surveillance of the family court building as part of a planned assault on Brad's children during their scheduled custody visit. Brad's violation of the custody order had unknowingly disrupted a coordinated attack that would have resulted in the kidnapping or murder of 3 innocent children. Detective Martinez found herself in the position of having arrested a father who had saved his own children's lives, while the real criminals escaped due to the disruption caused by the family court emergency response. All charges against Brad were dropped, and the incident led to enhanced security protocols for high-profile custody cases and improved coordination between family courts and law enforcement agencies regarding external security threats to celebrity families.